guide to the this website where I'm getting this from. Then college tuition, this was another very good article where the money is actually going. Very nice breakdown. If you look at that, college budget, research, hospital, 12% research, hospital services, 11, auxiliary, residence hall, dining, 9%, instructional, institutional support, 8%, academic support, 7%. See how layers and layers of this infrastructure in a university is not all just tuition cost. The college expenses 25. Okay, here you go. Although instruction make up the largest percentage of college expenses, it's only 27% of the college cost. So this is a very important, conclusion that whatever money we pay, only 27%, at least at undergrad levels, a much smaller percent. This number could be much smaller at undergrad level. Actually, it might be only 15, 16%. It going towards the instructional expense. The rest are all miscellaneous expense. And now we're going to look at how much universities are spending on their sports program or benefiting, various athletes. And let's keep going. Um, and then, the state funding has been going down, but universities again, I mean, all along we've been talking about the same conclusions, passing on the basically shortfall to students. Okay, now this is good one. The colleges are spending more on their athletes because they can. And this talk about gives you an example of University of Arkansas. They added 7 million investment in a new sports nutrition center, 1.5 million to feed athletes, and before the NCAA rules prohibited, and hefty salaries to coaches, and spending on sports is actually, I was reading that they average spend around 95 million, I mean 95,000 on per athlete versus some like 30,000. We'll get to that number on a student. Um, so this is again spending money on their football stadium renovation, 160 million, and other costs. Okay, so schools' annual spending on capital projects for their athletic programs was collected by NCAA for first time in 2015-16. 1.3 billion in such spending, a combination of cash and debt financing. Two-thirds came from Power 5 schools. Um, University of Arkansas, they're giving example of same. They had more than 400 students, 60 student athletes in 19 sports, and their expenditure, we have made our student athletes, including academic sport, medical resources, and to do. So basically, it's giving you example of the same university, how much they spend. The 230 schools spending on financial aid for athletes increased by 9% in 2016. Again, these are different universities. There are numbers. University of Cincinnati froze tuition this year, but it will pay more than 80 million, much of it borrowed money, to expand its football stadium by 2015. So even though the tuitions were frozen, but they are borrowing money to expand their football stadium. $80 million Miami, University of Miami cut jobs in during several years and taken 50 million out of its overall budget, but they want to raise 80 million from private donors, and it will go for sports scholarships. So the whole, the idea of this article is that universities may be cutting back on, your money on towards the education, but when it comes to sports, they don't, even though they have to borrow money. But actually UC system, here they got praise that this UC students, they pay $168 per semester on their student fee for athletes, and university pays about 15 million more in general funds. So UC attracts athletics attract about 400,000 people a year to campus. So this is probably they're talking about, you know, um, 49 million of, okay, I see. So UC athletic director says that the 49 million UCs spend on athletic is only 4% of the university's total budget. And these are the, 400,000 people who are coming to the campus for various, sports activities and all that. So they think the 4% is an heck of an investment, which is actually um, quite a bit of investment, 49 million. Hmm, interesting. So same thing, I found this article on USA Today that student this is the one number I was giving you, that the Division One schools with football, they spent $91,000 per athlete in 2010, seven times the spending of 13,000 Division One universities they were spending on their regular student. Division One universities without football spent $39,000 per athlete, more than triple the average of student spending. So there you go. You have this number that, like in this country, we glorify sports way more than, science, graduating in science or STEM majors, and that's why we have this. Again, on Huffington Post, the higher cost of college athletics and your tuition. This article goes back to same things which we earlier discussed. So I guess we'll just stop here and then go to next module.